Today, the lesson is going to be about defining your marketplace. Defining your marketplace is the first critical step of your strategy. Let me give you an example. I've worked on a brand called Volvic. You know the water from Danone. And we launched Volvic Touch of Fruit. The key question for us was, is this product an alternative to mineral water, to tap water? Or is this product an alternative to soft drinks or even fruit juice? You can imagine that depending on what was the answer to this question, we would basically talk to different consumers with different expectations and different needs. So this is why defining what's going to be your source of business is going to be the first crucial step of your strategy. But then you need to ask yourself, are you going to go local or even dreaming big, regional or even global? This is very important because depending on this answer, you're going to have to look at very different criteria. What is the economic stability and criteria you need to take into account, but also the politic environment, but even climate might be very different. I give you an example. I've worked in food, and in food, regulations are very different from one market to another. Even within Europe, things are different. I had to design packaging for Europe, and I had to put fruit flavors within the packaging for a gum product. In UK, I couldn't put any fruit appearance in the packaging, whereas in France or in Germany, I could put the fruit flavors. And it's the same if you think about products like Actimel. What you can claim in one market to another is very different. So the regulation was a very key component for us to take into account in food for our business. But what's going to be the key criteria for you, for your business? If you think also about people, the way they consume media is also very different from one market to another. If you talk to Chinese people, they are so advanced in the way they consume digital that you better have very good capabilities and know-how if you decide to attract the Chinese consumer. Last but not least, also, you need to consider the partners, your retailers, the people that are going to sell your product. They are very different from one market to another. If you go to Russia, you're going to have access to very traditional channels, very small stores. So then the portfolio you're going to have to propose, you can't have big packs with big products. You need to think the way they are thinking, designing for their stores. Whereas if you go to more the Western markets, even US, you have gigantic hypermarkets. So here you can think about big stuff, big pack, big products. So you see, the way you define your market, depending if it's global, regional or local, you're going to have very different portfolio strategies, communication strategies, even pricing strategies. Last point that I want to share with you is the way you're going to have to define your market. You need to think about what are you going to be able to bring? What is the strength of your company that's going to be a core competency and a real significant advantage versus the competition? But also how the product you're going to bring to your company is also going to be significantly incremental to your current business. Let me give you an example. I am working on a bar called Snickers. You know the chocolate bar, Snickers. The problem we had is that during the summer, the ambient bars are declining because it's too hot. They don't want to consume chocolate. So we decided to go for ice cream. So during the summer, how could we have a very complementary portfolio? So our strategy was to say, okay, we're going to have bars for ambient during the winter. So then we're going to enter the ice cream business and propose the first bars in ice cream. And our core competencies, we know how to make fantastic recipe for bars, but we're going to bring them in ice cream and develop the equivalent in ice cream. So you see, we had these two parts of the portfolio, a bars ambient versus the ice cream bars, Snickers ambient versus the Snickers ice cream bars. And the benefit of this is we had very strong competency in terms of recipes, but we could really enter this new market, ice cream, that was very complementary to our portfolio. So what's going to be your way of bringing competency that are really an advantage for you, but also bring benefit to this category? So now, in a nutshell, what you need to remember from this video: be sharp on who is going to be your source of business. Be clear how big you go, local, regional, global. And think about what you're going to be able to bring as the core competencies to make the difference there. Good luck.